Hey there, Tool Bankers. This is Mark Broadbeck.
And this is Kevin Lynch.
And this is one of a series of podcasts we're producing to support tool banks across the country. This one is called Red Hot Fundraising. You know, identifying, establishing, and then cultivating good relationships is the key to success in fundraising. Think about it. When someone you don't know asks you for money, your first reaction is probably skepticism. But a close friend asking you for a few bucks, that's different. Because you know them and you trust them, you'll probably help them out. You might even give them more than they asked you for. Both the likelihood and the amount of financial support is directly related to the strength of the relationship. A Nigerian prince contacting you by email from a faraway land? Not even $1. But what about that trusted friend? If they approached you with a solid business idea, you might even become an investor in that idea. It's all about the strength of the relationship. No relationship, no funds. With this in mind, let's take a look at the process of fundraising. Successful fundraising for a tool bank starts in the procurement stage by documenting all of the current relationships maintained by tool bank directors to individuals who might have access to potential sources of funding. This includes their friends, their neighbors' employers, their own company, their fishing buddies, the wife of a colleague at work, anybody who might be willing to open doors on behalf of your tool bank. As we document these relationships, the network of a new tool bank is quickly revealed. Ideally, that first list will include the vast majority of companies and foundations in your city. This is why a healthy board will be comprised of diverse local residents who are heavily networked and well connected both personally and professionally to the community.
In fundraising, we informally refer to contacts as prospects, and a prospect is always a person. You can't develop a relationship with a company or a foundation. Your relationship is with the person who works there. You may have a strong relationship with more than one prospect at a company or foundation. That's great. In fact, that's the goal. Funding sources where you have many strong relationships and are much more likely to support your tool bank. The level of familiarity and trust between a prospect and a tool banker can be illustrated by temperature. The people that your leadership team knows, either personally or professionally, are referred to as warm prospects. These prospects aren't going to reflexively view a solicitation for support with suspicion because they already know the person who's asking. They're very likely to support the tool bank, they just need to be asked.
So beyond your board's list of warm prospects is an infinite universe of potential funding sources. Because your tool bank presently has no connection to them, it's unlikely that they are going to provide any kind of support for your tool bank. These are people who have never heard of the tool bank before or don't personally know anyone involved with the tool bank movement. These are cold prospects. So if you approach a cold prospect for support, you are definitely going to get rejected. On the other hand, a warm prospect within a company or private foundation is ready to advocate for your proposal to increase the likelihood that it gets funded. A cold prospect, they are ready to put your proposal directly in the trash can. So the goal in fundraising is to turn cold prospects into warm prospects and to turn warm prospects into red-hot tool bankers.
How do we do that? You warm up a prospect by persistently building and cultivating a relationship with them. Relationships are started and strengthened through carefully measured exposure opportunities, almost like easing into a hot bathtub. For cold prospects, the conversion will probably start with a letter of introduction, along with a few collateral items like the tool bank brochure. The letter states that the director will follow up with a call in a few days. That call is a friendly conversation to get to know the prospect and should gradually lead to an invitation to your most potent exposure opportunity, a tour of your tool bank. Gradually, through this series of contacts in which a tool banker provides positive news of impact and vision, your prospect will come to view your tool bank as worthy of their support. For warm prospects, an informal call or lunch meeting from their friend who happens to be an enthusiastic tool banker is probably enough to get them engaged in the tool bank.
So this process is the key to effective conversion, and it's called professional persistence. As compelling as the tool bank is, cold prospects generally want to stay cold. Prospects are busy people with busy lives and full workloads, and they simply don't believe they have time for even one more phone call, much less a tool bank tour. It's completely up to the tool banker doing the outreach to drive the effort to warm up a cold prospect. In the short term, professional persistence means leaving multiple voicemails in an effort to make initial contact. In the long term, professional persistence means contacting the prospect over the course of 2 or 3 of your annual fundraising seasons to provide them with news of tool bank achievements. If a cold prospect is highly receptive, their conversion to a warm prospect might occur in a single meeting. If they're generally unreceptive, the conversion could take months or even a few years. You know, the conversion process is never a straight line, and it can be very frustrating, and it might even fail. This is why professional persistence is your best tool. Professional persistence is the periodic delivery of good news in the form of personalized contact. It is the magic ingredient that convinces the coldest of prospects that the ToolBank is a high-functioning, high-impact organization that deserves their support. You will know when that conversion process has been successful and properly executed because you've added one more person to the growing family of ToolBankers.
So, what happens if a prospect is ice cold and refuses to be thought out? They might not return calls. Maybe they shut down a ToolBanker with a rejection in the first 30 seconds of a conversation, and they're certainly not coming to the ToolBank for a tour. If the prospect is responsible for an important funding source, like a local foundation or prominent company, the ToolBanker should continue to apply professional persistence to warm them up during the ToolBank's fundraising season. If the prospect and their company just aren't likely to support the ToolBank in any way whatsoever, this fact should be noted in the ToolBank development records, and the prospect should be moved to the list of prospects not contacted during your annual fundraising season. The same is true for companies that only give to United Way. There's no reason to continue to try to warm them up.
The good news is that most prospects warm up to the ToolBank concept very quickly thanks to its simple mission and major impact. You might succeed in warming up a prospect who is not immediately able to unlock a valuable door for your ToolBank. For example, if they say they are not taking on any new funding recipients right now. The act of professional persistence in the short term means that the ToolBank will inquire about other kinds of support. Long-term professional persistence means that this prospect will be contacted again during your annual fundraising season each year. From that moment on, the newly converted prospect is continually receiving good news about the ToolBank and may be able to open that locked door someday soon or some other valuable door for your ToolBank in the near future. So that's it. The secret to red-hot fundraising is documenting your network, building relationships, and professional persistence. With these tools, red-hot ToolBankers are sure to follow. Best of luck to you in your fundraising efforts.
In the apartment above me, there is the lovingest pair. I don't know what she has to be jealous of. She has a face that just a mother could love. And still I know she's always